So the other day, me and Lindsay, we took our bikes and we went for a bike ride out on a trail that we have down here. Super nice, very quiet out in nature, and it's very relaxing to be out there. But behind us, there was this huge, a massive diesel truck. And you know, diesel trucks are kind of loud, obnoxious things, and especially if you want to have some peace and quiet, and you have that thing behind you. And whenever he steps on the gas, he creates this massive black toxic smoke cloud coming out of the bazooka exhaust that sticks out of the bed. But anyway, I like those kind of trucks, I really do. I think they are really cool, and especially if you have a proper use for that size of a truck, they can be super useful. So this is why I'm so excited about the electric car era that we're going into right now. It's because I was thinking about that truck with all that beastiness and a monster of a truck that was, with all those lights in front. You have the light bars, so you can't see anything if he turns all of the lights on, because it's gonna turn night into day. But imagine if that truck was electric, and that's what we're seeing now. We see a lot of electric car companies and startups even come up with these awesome off-roaders, and that's what I want to focus on today. So imagine if that truck was electric and you can use it off-road. It is completely silent when it creeps in the forests and the nature trails and stuff. But at the same time, it has like 4 motors or 3 or 4 motors in it, and produce 6 to 7, 800 horsepower. So you can take it off-road. But at the same time, it does 0 to 60 in like 3 or 4 seconds. That's what's so cool about this new era when it comes to performance. And of course, design-wise, it means, as I said before, as I said in the Cybertruck video, that when you have a new package like this, it creates so many new opportunities that I can't wait to see what companies are going to do with this. You can make a massive truck like that with an amazing load capacity. You can even have the entire front compartment be a loading compartment for luggage and stuff. And you can have it go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. I mean, it's insane. So that's why I'm so excited about the electric car era, and also these beautiful new concept cars that we have, especially the Lotus Evija, which I think is one of the most beautiful new cars I've ever seen. And that you can't make a car like that with an engine, because it literally has holes in it that goes that would take up space from where the engine should be. So you can't create a design like that unless it is electric, and that's what's so exciting about this. So I thought, after we went on that bike ride, I got inspired, and I wanted to create my ultimate off-roader, but it has to be electric, of course. And I really like the Bollinger B1 and B2, and this is a startup company. I think they started in 2017 with a concept. It was an old industrial designer who I think he lived on a farm. I think that's the story, and he was not happy with the trucks that he was using on the farm, so he wanted to create something else. So he assembled a team of 10 to 12 people, engineers, designers, and they started working on this electric versions of an SUV and a pickup truck called the B1 and the B2, and now they have released the pricing of it. It's going to be $125,000, which is kind of high if you compare it to the Rivian, for example, which is about $69,000. And also now we have the Cybertruck that starts at $39,000. I'm not sure if they're gonna keep it at that price point, but $125,000 for this is kind of expensive. But at the same time, it's a very unique looking truck, and it looks like the old Land Rover Defender, which I love. And I just love this utilitarian styling that I feel is becoming more of a trend now. And I think that's really cool. Anyway, I'm gonna take this B1 SUV and turn it into a dream off-roader that I would love to have and own myself. Since we're talking about the B1 and the B2 Bollinger here, let's talk about its performance. I feel like I have to mention it because it's fascinating, and I think you should know this. So the weight, let's just start with the weight of this B1. It's 10,001 pounds, and it has 2 electric motors. One is located at the front axle, while the second drives the rear, and combined these two generate 614 horsepower. And keep in mind the weight is 10,001 pounds, and the 0 to 60 time is 4.5 seconds. And this is what is so freaking cool with electric drive. You can have a heavy beast tank like this do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. A 2-speed transfer case provides both high and low range for all-wheel drive system. When combined with a 15-inch ground clearance, this should give the B1 real off-road capabilities. Towing capacity is a stout 7,500 pounds and the payload capacity is 5,201 pounds. The only downside that I see with this B1 right now in comparison to the competition is first of all the price, which is $125,000, and the range that you get with this price is 200 miles of range from the onboard 120 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and the B1 can be charged using 110 volt or 220 volt outlets, but DC fast charging is also offered. Bollinger claims a full charge will be possible in about 75 minutes using that option, and they also say that it will take about 10 hours on 220 volt to get a full charge, and they don't really provide an estimate for charging on a 110 volt outlet. So that's also one of the cons, I think, with this technology. It's their first car, so I get it. I get that the styling is very minimal and the interior is very simplistic as well, but I respect Bollinger for building this truck and trying to make a really cool and useful electric truck and SUV that I think will have its own target audience. So let's talk about what we're doing to this Bollinger B1. It's a 2-door SUV, fully electric, which is super cool, and it has this look that I really like, which is a mix between the original Defender and maybe a little bit of Hummer in there. It's very boxy, obviously, so that's obviously going to remind us of those cars, and I see nothing wrong with that. I think it's a really cool looking SUV, but what I want to do with it is to, of course, modernize it and make it into a modern looking car. I think there's a lot to work on when it comes to that, and the Bollinger B1 and B2s, they look almost too simple. There are only round shapes and squares on this car, so we can add some cool LEDs in the front, and we're also going to add this solar panel instead of the grille. So I want all of the panels, including the windows on the roof. If this was my design, I would have that be solar panels that charges the car to their capacity. Probably not a full charge, but it's going to help with some additional range if you have solar panels on the car. So I would have the entire roof line, the entire roof, I would have that solar panels, and also the hood would be solar panels. And then why not make the grille into a solar panel, because you can open this hatch up and tilt it up, so when you have it parked out in the savannah or wherever you're going with this B1, you can just park it and have all the solar panels face up when you're not using the truck. Now, I know some of you are probably gonna say, but hey, you're going to get cracks and stuff in the solar panel because it's very fragile. Well, let's just assume that this is very hardened glass or something, and shatterproof, more shatterproof than the Teslas for that matter, because that totally broke during the demo of it. So this would be some very tough glass in the front that protects the solar panel, so even if you get some chips and rocks on there, it's not gonna damage it. That's the idea. Even this is just a sketch, it's just a concept, it's just an idea. We can even have some mesh in front of the solar panel. It's probably going to affect the performance of the solar panel, but if that is going to help it not crack, if we can't get the super strong glass to cover the solar panel, that's probably what we would have to do. Anyway, I want to stick with the geometries here, stick with simple geometries, just make some cool LEDs, and also of course have the massive light bar integrated on top of this car. And also the boxiness of the car, it is, as I said, it's kind of too boxy for me and too geometrical. So to change that, to add some dynamics to this design, I want to take the greenhouse and kind of tilt it inward so we have an angle, so it doesn't go above the shoulder line. It's going to tilt in a little bit, as you can see in the back there, and also in the front it's going to have more of a slope in the windshield, and that just gives it a little bit more of styling to the car. Even though it's bare minimal styling in this car, it still makes it just a little bit interesting, and I think it's so cool that they have 3 windshield wipers on this truck. Other changes that we're going to do to this is, I think the fenders, I think those are called fenders, I'm not sure when it comes to off-road vehicles, but I think they look too small, so I want to extend them a little bit, and because I want to have the tires be further out, so I want the stands to be, when you look at the car from straight front or rear view, I want the the tires to be the end point of the car, and I want the fenders to be right above where the tires end. So I want them to, if you look at it from the top, you're not going to see the tires. If you look at it from the back or the front, you are going to see the tires being the end point of the truck, if that makes sense. Other than that, there's not really a lot of changes I want to do. Just some styling changes in the front, make it look distinguishable, especially at night. So that's why I added those LEDs that you see on the sides, because if you see this at night and you see those rectangular shapes, you are going to recognize this brand, and it's going to create a brand identity for Bollinger, which I doubt that they have now. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the B1 and B2, but I think they just have circular headlights, and it's not really distinguishable if you look at it at night. So there we have it. I think we are coming to an end of this video. This would definitely be a truck that I would love to drive. The range for the Bollinger, it's about 200 miles. The top one, which is not the best when you have the Cybertruck now coming out with a 500-mile range battery version, the $69,000 one. But I think this would probably be more of a farm truck. That's how I see this. And if we add the solar panels on the roof and the hood, we might extend that to 250 or 300. I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. But it's definitely a truck that I would love to drive and take on longer journeys, because it looks so capable. And if I can't wait until the battery technology and especially the charging technology catches up with our needs for like a cross-country trip without having to spend an hour to recharge every time you have a low battery. So look forward to that, and I look forward to everything electric. I'm really excited, as you can tell, because I've made 2 videos now on electric cars. And I'm also going to be talking about the Lotus Evija in a coming video. I think that car is very special, and the design is just beautiful. It's probably the best looking Lotus. I think I might be biting my tongue here now, but I think it's the best looking Lotus I've ever seen. I actually love the Esprit, the S4 Esprit. I think the last generation Esprit Turbos, I think they look great, but this one is just on another level, because, as I said before, we have new capabilities when we remove the massive engine and transmission from the car. We have an entire shell to work on. We can put holes in it and do all kinds of weird stuff. So it's really cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's reach 200,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I think we can do it. We're on track. We're on track to do it, but I need your help still. So subscribe if you're new to the channel and enjoyed these kind of videos. I'm the Sketch Monkey. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.